We want to get to the point where teens are aware that they have strengths and that they have their role in their own health. And that's really a process of development is going to get to, for them to get to that point. So the 3 essential principles of positive youth development approaches is that youth are defined in terms of potential. And that's really kind of unusual in our society, right? The 5 C's of positive youth development. And there's many different models. I like this model that has 5 C's because I think they're easier to remember. Competence, character, connections, and caring. Starting with competence, thinking about the stages of adolescence, young people look like adults very early on in this part of this process. You know, you'll see an 11, 12, 13-year-old who looks, you know, like they're fully grown and like an adult. But just because their bodies are changing and growing doesn't mean that they're there yet. As we all know, that this 10 to 20 or so age range is the period of life that has more changes happening than any other period of life besides that early birth part of life. So there's huge changes happening to them in their bodies and their minds, and this is all happening in a social context that really is going to set the trajectory for a lot of their life going forward. So when you look at the different stages of adolescence, they're going through different things, and they're going to only understand certain things at different stages. So even if they may look like an adult, they're not going to respond to you that way. Racial identity formation should be considered as a developmental milestone because there's a whole process that one has to go through to self-identify with their racial or ethnic group, to understand what it means to be a member of that group, and to kind of feel a sense of belonging to that group. And our youth of color, who are not part of the mainstream American group, really have to grapple with that, especially if your group is associated with a lot of negative influences or stereotypes of function. So there's a whole process that happens during adolescence, and sometimes we never really completed, where you grapple with these 3 domains to kind of come up with a good sense of myself. And then the other thing that I think is important, especially for people who are working with youth in community settings and home settings, is kind of the coaching model. It's changing from a small child where you just kind of tell them to do things to you being more of a coach and trying to help the teen get what they need done. So it's more indirect, kind of working through them, creating confidence, observing, advising, letting them go and try things, and sometimes it's not going to work out, and then kind of helping them debrief what's happened. That's a kind of a coaching model to approach them. It's going to help them build skill sets more than a paternalistic approach. Done. Setting the stage for the conversations, especially if you're going to talk about STIs or anything that's very sensitive. You can't just start out saying, just talking about it. There's a lot of evidence that positive assets protect youth and help them make healthy choices.